Hi, everybody. This is Lowell, and I just wanted to talk a little bit about my favorite musicians. And the one today is B.B. King. And I really admire this man. He became such a powerful musical force, but he didn't start that way. He started very humbly, growing up very impoverished, and just loved. He fell in love with music in church and guitar playing, and that's where he really got his beginnings. Um, Racism at that time was still quite prevalent, and there was a situation that happened when he was in Lexington, near where he grew up, and was walking downtown, and he saw a limp black man had died, hanging from the courthouse, and it really disturbed him. And he went home to talk about this with his mother, and she said, blind hatred poisons the soul, but people will always be kind to you if you show kindness to them. And he exhibited that. He was always a gracious man in all of his dealings, and many artists that I've studied are not very gracious. They're selfish and do a lot of uh, sinful and selfish things. But B.B. King, in my estimation, lived a really wholesome life and decided to not take revenge, not to try to lash out at people because of the things that he had experienced and the racial pain that he grew up with. And you could see throughout the trajectory of his entire life that he always chose the high road. And it was he wasn't an overnight success. He just incrementally grew from one stage of his development to the next. Worked at a radio station, just because he was just a nice guy. People would promote him, and he had opportunities because people really liked him and really ended up appreciating him greatly. And he did ultimately grow into a fantastic musician, even to the point where his music had touched Britain, and the Beatles, Paul McCartney, John Lennon, apparently went backstage to a B.B. King when they were traveling in America. They went backstage to a B.B. King concert, and uh, if I understand correctly, that Lennon actually bowed down, to B.B. King and kissed his foot, because he appreciated his music so much, and had been the Beatles had been so inspired by B.B. King's example. So not to go into a huge long biography of B.B. King, but the just his example of taking the high road and being a man of forgiveness, being a man of graciousness, and fulfilling his potential in the midst of a world that was not always friendly, but always taking the high road to accomplish his artistic goals. It's just a beautiful example of a great man.